I'm
All comments, statements, and opinions expressed herein are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of management, KM Media, or the Brushwood Media Network. Welcome to Unscripted Politics, where headlines get unpacked and spin gets shredded, and real talk takes center stage. There is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment, and here we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. I'm so excited. We've got a great show for you today. We've got a couple of really good shows today, and I hope you'll stay with us for the entire time. Rochelle, and how are you? And, people ask, those mountains behind you, but right now, because it's fall, they really do look like that, don't they?
They do. Like, literally identical, depending on where you're parked, doesn't matter this time of year because all the snow's at the top, all the colors are below, and kind of a reminder maybe on your way home or stuck in your busy day-to-day life to say, hey, there's the beauty of today and here's the beauty of life. So sometimes we tend to skip out on those things, but it's easy to notice sometimes also.
Yeah, I used to have snow on my rooftop, and it's kind of gone away now. But would you like to introduce our guest today? He's going to be with us for the entire hour. We are so excited to have him here.
Yes, I would love to. We have Marvin Wilkerson. He has a website. It's phenomenal. It's beautiful. Soulfusionhealing.com. And he talks about discovering your soul's path with evolutionary astrology and hypnosis, which a lot of people, that brings so many questions to our mind because it's not something that's fully understood, right? So welcome, Marvin. Thank you for joining us with this conversation and being here. How are you today?
I'm looking forward to being here. It sounds exciting, just so far, and we've just made the introductions.
Well, and Rochelle, I got to tell you, because I asked Marvin before we came on, I said astrology and hypnosis. Those are two difficult. I've never known anybody to put them together and to work with them seamlessly the way he does. And Marvin, you told me something that makes you a very unique individual. Tell me what you told me.
Only one other person in the whole world that I've discovered does astrology and hypnosis together.
Which makes you a one of a kind.
A unicorn?
Yes. What made you merge the two, let alone get into understanding both of those things?
Well, I started out doing astrology and learning astrology when I was 18 years old, and that's well over 50 years ago. And then when I left corporate America in 2012, I kind of bumping around looking for something else to do. And I was told teach. And I said, well, what do you want me to teach? And they said, 1 to 100 will supply the increase. So I was starting to do readings again, getting out of corporate America. And I told a person that, you need to get a regression, because I did them back in the 70s with Brian Weiss and all the gang then. And she said, well, where do I get one? I said, well, I don't know. Somebody in Nashville ought to do one. And she came back and she said, well, I can't find anybody. I said, oh, heck, I'll do it. And so I read a book called New Regression Therapy, and it said something about getting into hypnosis or taking hypnosis course. And I said, hypnosis? What in the world is that? And I studied. So I got about 4 certifications, about 500 hours of different issues and conflicts with people. And it's been the love of my life. It's why I'm here in this embodiment. because I could not be happier than helping individuals work through their conflicts in life. So when you put the two together, it's such an in-depth look at an individual that allows me to go into their soul's path from the astrological side, and then understand what's in their subconscious mind from the hypnosis side, which it's all that is. And it's all the person is, and it's all the conditioning and the patterning and the past lives and everything. And that's where the conflicts reside, and that's where you've got to get them corrected.
It is remarkable the work that you can do putting those two things together. Because, Rochelle, as Marvin and I were talking, astrology is a lifelong pursuit all by itself, and it's kind of never ending because there's always more to learn about the confluences and the differences and all the things that, like Mercury retrograde and all the things that are involved with it, and then to a couple hypnosis on top of that, you can really dive deep into somebody's, not only their life, but where they've been, where they're going, and everything about them, can't you?
Yes, and sometimes it's too deep, and sometimes I just have to work with what the person is coming to me for. And just remember, I can't tell them everything in that chart. One of my astrology teachers, my first one, said, look, we can put up an astrology chart and read it for 6 months. I mean, that just gives you the understanding of the depth, because, I mean, when you think of a person and the what comes together as far as character, personality as a person, it's incredible. It's just so many pieces and parts. So I just work with what people need from me.
So I got to ask you this, and I've always wanted to ask someone of your stature this. The universe and the stars are in alignment, and they are the way they are. Is when we are born, do we enter at the time that is in alignment with what the stars are going to say to us and for us, or are we born and then the stars align? Which is it? Is it are we destined for a particular moment in time? Yeah, is it the egg or the chicken or the egg?
The stars are never not aligned. They're always aligned. So the easy answer is this. The moment of first breath, you take in the energy of the solar system, of this dimension. Now, the soul may lag behind 2-3 days before it enters the body. So when you think of it like that, but the soul enters at a time that the astrological map is absolutely lined perfectly with what they come to this dimension and earth plane to learn.
So that means that, let me see if I can wrap my head around this, because we'll take me as an example, because I believe, and I've said this often, that I had a contract before I even got here, and that this was going to be part of my life experience here, and all the things and experiences that I've had have led up to this and this very moment of you, me, and Rochelle having a chance to talk. And so consequently, I knew this ahead of time. And so everything was kind of lined up that I would show up when everything was in perfect alignment. Is that how is it that complicated? Is that, I mean, there must be one of the angels in the sky must be looking at all this stuff all the time to try and make sure that we're here when we're supposed to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's not complicated. It's that simple. See, you're trying to get an ego mind around that concept,
Who, me?
And
No.
when you're talking about a soul, there is no ego mind. There is no belief systems, or are no. I mean, you have committed to a path with every single thing that you are going to confront in this lifetime, all people, all enemies, all friends, all lovers, everyone. It's already been in position at the moment that you have agreed to come into this life and dimension.
Okay, wait, but what if, because I have to ask you this too, because my generation is all for the decisions that you make are up to you and your free will, and that is what writes and aligns certain things. So if I had missed this show today with you here, it could have aligned my future differently. So either we have the free will to build our destiny and we write it as we go, or are there multiple paths and opportunities that are available depending on the decisions we make?
Let me tell you what your free will is.
Okay.
Your free will is attitude. You can adopt whatever attitude you want from whatever experience that you experience. Mm-hmm. And your free will is creativity. You have the free will to use creativity in this life in every single moment in time.
Right.
Other than that, you are living in, dare I say, a simulation which is absolutely aligned so that you can experience exactly what you need to experience to awaken as a universal consciousness.
Yeah.
And so that means that the other people that have come into your life at a particular moment in time, and it was preordained that they would show up at that time and give you the information or the knowledge or the thought or the impetus to go do something, and then they go about doing the rest of their stuff, but it's all pre-done, and it's all kind of, because that's how it's worked for me. I've had people come into my life. The one guy who got me into radio, and he said, he came to me and said we should do a television show. Couldn't do that, but we could do radio, and so I got into that. Then he disappeared. He's been gone out of my life for 20 years. He only came in for that particular moment, and it was kind of like a preordained agreement that we had beforehand. Or do I need to be on medication again?
No. That's exactly all that it is. It's an agreement between souls to participate with each other in a certain way that compels a person to move towards universal consciousness. It's not that complicated. And there can be angels and guides and teachers that show up in an instant that give you information, and they disappear from your life forever. And that's happens all the time in everybody's life. And so it doesn't have to be complicated, but yet, I mean, your and I generation have made it complicated with this Aquarian generation. They understand universal consciousness and universal principles a heck of a lot more than us stupid baby boomers. I can promise you that.
Well, I'll tell you, Marvin, it is so loud and clear, I couldn't ignore it if I wanted to. Kevin experiences that with me.
Uh-huh.
But you see, it's a beautiful tapestry that it's science, it's physics, it's quantum theory, it's everything is connected. There is no disconnected. I was just listening to Greg Braden the other day, and he was talking about even our cells are structured exactly the way the universe looks.
Yep.
There is no difference. Everything is and we know as hypnotists, your cells are completely individualistic with their own brain.
Yep. even in your tears. I learned that recently, and I want to share this for everybody just off the whim. If you ever question yourself and feel like I don't have time to cry, or I'm too strong to cry, or whatever your excuse is to cry, I've been there, I get it, but I've learned that each tear has its own cell, its own memory. It's Marvin, you're going to start me down a rabbit hole, and I'm not going to be able to stop. So let Kevin take us to break, and when we come back, we'll choose who gets to ask the next question.
Well, we got 3 rabbits on here.
Yes, we do.
And by the way, we're talking with Marvin Wilkerson, and his website again, Rochelle, is?
Yes, visit his website, which is soulfusionhealing.com. And don't go anywhere. This conversation is just getting started.
And if you're listening to this right now, call your friends, call your family, because this is going to be good and this is worth listening to. And we'll be right back. For way too long, we've allowed shadows to dictate our steps. Our clamor of division, the whisper of fear, and the harsh grip of hate. They've tried to define us. But this moment, this is our moment of truth. We remember who we truly are. Not just separate islands, but a vast ocean of shared humanity. We declare our independence from the narratives that have pulled us apart. We choose curiosity over judgment, empathy over indifference, understanding over accusation. This isn't about ignoring our differences. It's about celebrating the strength woven into our tapestry. It's about remembering that progress isn't built on exclusion, but on common ground. So let the banners of kindness fly high. Let the anthem of unity ring out. This is our declaration, our independence from what limits us, our freedom to truly connect. Because together we are stronger. And together we are free. And this declaration is brought to you by Positive Talk Radio. Oh, Rochelle. By the way, you're listening to Positive Talk with Kevin McDowell. That particular piece, Marvin, I created it. It is kind of a synopsis of the things I believe, and it gives me chills every time I play it, because we can truly be free if we choose to be. And it's amazing the work that you are doing and with people and the light you're. You met Brian Weiss?
No. Brian Weiss wrote his book, Many Masters, Many Lives, along with, I forgot his name. Dick Sutphin and his wife were big in regression work and pretty well known in the 70s for regressions.
Yes.
And
did you?
All those hippies were into it.
Oh yeah. Well, I got to interview Dolores Cannon. Do you know who that is?
Very much so. I work a lot with her quantum healing hypnosis.
She was an amazing individual, an amazing person, and shined so many lights on so much that we don't understand, and it's just remarkable. And Rochelle and everybody, I encourage you. She's still got YouTubes out there, and Dolores Cannon is her name, and it will blow your mind. And by the way, I got to interview Mr. Braden, and the conversation went like this: "Hi, Greg. Tell me about your work." I didn't understand a word he said anything after that,
and it kept going until the end of the show.
Yes.
Yeah, he's quite the encyclopedia.
It is just amazing. But Rochelle, your tears, they each have their own identity.
I still don't know. Actually, I'm starting to grasp the concept because. Okay, I gotta trace my words easily here because I could lead us so far down a hole that none of us will understand what's going on. But when where your soul and your body meet is, I've learned to understand maybe emotion, and we see that as such a negative thing, but that's emotion is what guides us. That's how we observe and absorb, and all of these things come into play. And a lot of us will shut those emotions down. Well, this is weak and this is wrong. This is bad. That's too happy. That's too much. I'm wondering mainly, Marvin, of people who do this work with you and like just after having the realization that they are allowed and can be who they are, how does that shift people?
Well, just because you know something as a truth doesn't mean you can walk the talk. And
Right.
so people come to me with conflict.
Hmm.
People come to me when they don't understand why and what is happening. And so you got to realize we're all here under soul contract for karmic reasons to reevaluate our perception and our perspective about things and about life so that we can make a correction in that perception, because that's the belief system that keeps us from being totally self-aware. I mean, Carl Jung said, when the conscious mind knows what's in the subconscious mind, you'll be enlightened.
Yeah. Well, and I'm thinking about so many people who come here and they say they do or they don't realize, but they've got this guideline and they've given these opportunities, and how frequent it is maybe that people come back here and they don't learn these things. They don't see that, and they don't. Let me ask you this. What is it like when people tell you, Marvin, I want to understand because I want to pass all the tests and I want to fulfill whatever my soul came here to do? How do you answer that with them?
Well, I try to get them in alignment with the astrological map of what is telling me is their soul path to make positive steps forward, where they could take steps backwards, where they have to transform their ego structure and their belief system to allow a new understanding of their life and let go of old ego concepts and beliefs that keep them from moving forward. And so it's a pretty simple equation, actually. And then when you get into the subconscious mind, you can understand why they are holding on to certain beliefs. And it's usually the conditioning and the patterning of early life programming, which I found is just as important as regressions, because you're not going to come here without the programming that you need that's coming out of the past so that you can experience and make new choices and new perspectives and new beliefs that allow you to become more free.
Kevin?
And Marvin, I just have to go down there. I have to ask this because I believe, and this may be an ego thing, I don't know, but I believe that Rochelle and I have had prior experiences together in prior lives. And I also believe that the reason that she is the age she is and I am, because I was here to build the trail that then she could then carry on, and it's a divine plan. How can I verify that? Or can I? Or is it just
you already have?
Huh?
I told you.
You already have. You believe it. Do you realize, and most people don't, you can't make stuff up.
He
If
tells
you're
me that and it
making
drives me
it up,
crazy.
you've already experienced it. So you can go into regression while you're full blown awake.
Yeah.
It doesn't require that you go into a deep hypnotic state. Everything is already available to you. Everything. is already available to you in any moment in time. And if you can converse about it, if you can talk about it, where do you think you're getting it from? You're not making it up.
Okay, Marvin, I'm trying to understand both sides of this. My brain is racked, and half of the stuff you're telling Kevin is what he tells me. So I'm like, how? We're coming full circle here. But when it comes to understanding your past lives, and when it comes to understanding astrology, is there one way you go first when you work with people to help them understand the opposite and why?
Well, I'm always looking at the chart.
Right.
Whether they believe in astrology or not. I mean, I live in the buckle of the Bible Belt. But
Yeah,
You do.
there you go.
You do.
you don't work with me without giving me your birthday. And when I see your birthday, I already can listen to what you have to say to me and tell you if it's lining up with your energy and how you're using the energy, that you needed to be much more honest with how you use that energy. And so that's where the coaching comes in. You have to change beliefs before you'll change.
There's a bumper sticker.
Yeah. If you don't, I mean, in other words, people don't change unless there's a greater pain.
Why do we do that to ourselves?
Because we're fearful of moving forward. We're fearful of what maybe, might be, could be. Instead of living in the moment, living our excitement, living our passion, and letting go of the outcome, because our ego is still trying to believe that it's in charge, then we're all going to struggle with anxieties, depressions, and everything else.
So if we go back and we work on those things, that can be something that we understand doesn't have to be necessary.
You don't have to go back. All is now.
What?
There's only one time period. All
I feel like
is
I'm talking to you.
And so let me give you even straighter answer.
Okay.
The Buddha said, if you want to know the past, look at the now. If you want to know the future, look at the now. There's only now. That's all there is. There is no time. Time is a lie. Time is a man-made experience so that we can experience things linearly, so that we can learn from a linear event. When you become a soul in another dimension, anything you think of can be instant. It's all instantaneous. There is no time. And when I get people into hypnosis, the first thing I ask them when they come out is how long you think you were there. 1 in 1,000 will know how long they were there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's why you are
20
who
minutes.
you are, Marvin, because you live in the now. So like you said, your body is your vessel. Me and Kevin fully understand that. And is that why maybe our minds and our soul, not even our minds, but our souls continue to grow and experience, and we put is age restricting us from thinking that way?
No, I don't think age is restricting you. I mean, you can be a pretty smart person at a very young age.
Yes.
You don't come into consciousness till you're 7 years old. So once you
Right.
come into consciousness, then you go through the experiences of conditioning and patterning by your early programmers. And then what I consider, once you turn 20 years old as an adult, you live out the next 60, 70 years trying to authenticate what you accept as your condition or programming, and what you don't accept as that conditioning and programming. So you're experiencing and perceive it how you were conditioned and programmed. And if that don't line up with your feelings, which is what we should be following, not emotion, feelings. Feelings and intuition is how we live in the now, and is how spirit converses with us and keeps us in alignment. Emotion is just a gift to humanity. In other words, if I have a good emotion like I love you and I'm happy and joyful, and that experience, that can stay with me. I love my wonderful memories of the past. As far as all negative memories, you're just holding on to those. They don't they don't exist anymore. They were yesterday. And yesterday is gone. There are no yesterdays. You're making it up. If I tell you to think of yesterday, think of it. If you tell me, okay, I'm thinking of it, I'm going to tell you, well, you're making it up.
Yeah, well, it's almost like I get what you're saying, because you're choosing to bring the past into the present when it doesn't have to be there, right?
Right.
That's
But
not
what he's saying is it doesn't exist, and so you're making it all up when you bring it into the present. Because am I right in that?
Now she's getting it.
I mean, I get it, and I understand it, and that's why I'm like, okay, how? Now what? So if we could talk about those next steps, I'd love to continue this conversation when we come back from break.
And I want her to tell you her birthday so that I can figure out how to treat her according to the way she needs to be treated according to who she is. I don't know if we can do that or not, but
Okay, but
anyway.
you too, Kevin.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
Are you looking for your daily dose of inspiration? Stay connected to all your favorite shows, music, and news with the Brushwood Media Network app. From Positive Talk Radio to Greatest Vibes Unplugged and so many more uplifting voices around the world, everything you need is right in one place. It's easy to use, too. Always available and designed to keep you inspired 24 hours a day. Go to brushwoodmedianetwork.com and download the app, and you will always have Brushwood Media available on your smartphone. Download it now and make inspiration and music and conversation part of your everyday. And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald and Michelle. I got to tell you, Marvin, there are people in our audience that are their brains are now a fried egg in their head because you're blowing some minds here, and I just love it, and I love this conversation because it is so true, and it is so hard for people to grasp around but yet it's complicated, but it's really simple. It's really simple to understand, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's very, very simple. The ego structure makes it complex.
Yeah.
When you're trying to be an individualist, the ego that's your worst enemy, but it's necessary to keep you alive. And so you've got to sometimes override the ego. And so when you override it and choose a feeling instead of what you think, you see, let's think about it like this. This is what I tell people. If you tell me what you think, I'm going to tell you what I think. What have we just done? We have polarized. But if you tell me what you feel and I tell you what I feel, what have we done? We've made a connection because I want to help you. I want to accept your feelings. You accept my feelings. and we're on win-win ground.
Rochelle.
I hate how simple that is, but I also love it because I fully understand. And so much of it, I used to think, Marvin, that I would struggle with patience the most. And at this last interview that we had with the prior guest, I thought to myself, it isn't being patient. It's the forgiveness and the acceptance. How much of that has to do with what we choose to bring in our presence, and also what is already said and done that we don't. A lot of us think that in order to heal, we need to retrace everything. And it's okay when things come to the surface, but do we get to choose how heavy that is and how significant it is and how much we overanalyze all of it?
Well, I explain it like this. You always know the energy of somebody you're talking to. And if you come into somebody, you size them up in 5 seconds, make a decision if you'll buy from them in 20 seconds. So it's energy. If the energy between you is, if it feels right, if it feels good, well, then you can connect with it. If it don't feel right, it don't feel good, you don't connect with it. You have free will not to participate. You can participate or not participate. And nobody tells you that you have to participate with something that doesn't feel right.
Well, how do you get people to understand where to stop in the moment of deciding, am I going to participate, or is this something that I don't have to allow to affect me any longer?
By feeling. If it feels good, I'll take her back to where we lived, Kevin. If it feels good, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
And if it don't feel good, we'll either get away from it or go someplace else, but shut it down.
So is that a part of intuition, learning how to guide yourself with not necessarily, okay, please break this down for me because I'm not the only one asking this. What is the difference between emotion and feeling? Is it intuition and
a lot? A feeling
something else
comes from an external physical sense, and you can feel. You feel moment to moment. An emotion comes from an external event that now stays with you and hangs on. You can hang on to an emotion from lifetimes if you want. But a negative emotion is something that you have a difference between your head and your heart. You're not in alignment. And so you're out of alignment with your feelings and your thinking. And if you want to get into balance, you have to default to feelings. Feelings and intuition are true. And so are emotions, not thinking. Not thinking. So it's not about thinking it through. If you got an emotion, it's coming out of the past. Why is it impacting you to whatever degree it is? You have to figure that out. Is it something that, I don't know, I'm getting, you're like your father. So everything you do like your father. And my wife is always going, I hear AJ in you.
Well, and Kevin's been the reason I can help.
Emotional about it. I would get upset. I would get angry. But I don't care. She's got her perception of what I'm doing and saying and all. And I'm sure I am a little bit like my father. I love my father. So it's not a matter of.
What you just said is acceptance also, because Kevin's not also taught me the acceptance part of it, but listening to the soul and listening to the body. And would it be correct to say that's kind of what you're saying is you get to choose?
Yes, it's body, mind, and soul. They're integrated. And when they're integrated, you're in alignment. And when they're not integrated, you're out of alignment.
And so your feelings are always true.
Always. Always, always, always. That is how you connect to the universe. So when I explain it to people, I say, look, when you get an emotion, that's 15 milliwatts. Well, intuition is 2. You're not going to be all upset, all up in the air and emotional and have an intuitive feeling, I promise you.
Because it blocks it all out.
It blocks it off. They cannot get to you from the other side when you're all up in your ego and all up emotional and all upset and ready to fight.
So I have to ask you, Brachelle, your birth date is January 31st. What year?
1999.
Oh, God.
And I was born, I have to say this for anybody who doesn't know this about me, I feel like this is an important feature. I was born during the Super Bowl in the third quarter when the Broncos won the Super Bowl. And yes, I still cheer for them. So what does that tell you, Marvin, about me? I'm curious. Tell me.
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, just to tell you very quickly, you're an Aquarius. And so you're much more of that humanitarian individual. You care about friends, got a lot of friends, I'm sure. So you're very objective about things. You can detach, which drives Kevin crazy. You can you look for how does it benefit the whole? How does it benefit everybody? So you're willing to take on unconventional ideas. And this is why we're moving in the Aquarian age. I spelled it all out for you in the third chapter. So Aquarius are the people that's going to lead us out of this horrible situations that we're in.
I knew it. That's why she's here. And that was what she was. That's what she's here to do. And by the way, Marvin, the name of your book, and if you can hold it up, you can, or give us the name of your book.
Yes, please do.
Soul Fusion
Healing. Integrating body, mind, and soul.
Get the book. It's at Amazon, I'm sure, and everywhere else, right?
Yep.
And Marvin, just look up Marvin Wilkerson, and you will be able to get the book and anything else that he's got published there. Because Marvin, it is simple, it is complex, and you just told me about her spot on. And some of it I love. Some of it's, a little kind of. Of course, I was born on. I told you.
9/11.
9/11, 1957.
Yeah. And
Well,
Kevin, can we
you're
take this break
Virgo.
early? Because I want to hear what Marvin has to say about you, as he said about me, and how the reciprocation of that is going to change the world, hopefully.
And how those two integrate with each other to form a better whole. And we're going to skip this break, so we're going to stay here because this is important stuff.
Well, look, you're a Virgo, so you're about service, you're about hard work, you're a critical, analytical, evaluating, judging individual that now can separate. The problem with Virgos is they worry about leg 26 in the sequence of 1,000-leg centipede. So your job is to bring order to chaos. Your job is to be of service to others. There's no greater love than a Virgo that is serving others selflessly. And that's what you do. You notice and validate details, and you gain experience through. You gain confidence through experience. So Virgos are the workers of the zodiac, the servers of the zodiac, and of course, Aquarians kind of understand this picture. An Aquarian would not want you to build a house on an ant hill because ants have just as much right to be there as your house.
Yes.
That would absolutely drive you insane, Kevin.
Marvin, I got to tell you, do you know she's got boxes of bugs in her room that have passed away that she values because she values all of life. Yesterday, and there is a male black widow spider in her hand. Yesterday, she had a black widow crawling on her windowsill, and it was like, "Oh, look at that! Isn't that cool?" And I was saying, run away! Kill it!
But that's its home and that's its space. And I love what you said, Marvin, because when you're integrated with the right people, the flow of life is just easier. It's not so hard to understand things. It's not so hard to make decisions. Kevin's provided me a perspective within myself that allows me to be who I am so that I can externalize who I am and be freely of it. With the spider, I understand it's got its space, it has its power, it deserves that. But I can admire it from it being in its zone while I'm still in mine. And then Kevin brings the acknowledgement of, even though I hate those damn things, I love you for who you are, whether I understand it or not, because I'm open to shedding light on everybody as humanity. So the way you brought that together was quite beautiful, because me and Kevin don't agree on everything, but we love and respect each other more than I think anybody really has, especially in my life.
Well, he can break things down like you can't, because he can see the details that you can't see. And you can objectify things to be in alignment with a universal consciousness that he can't, because he's busy judging and evaluating. And so this is how you both serve each other, even though it's quite different energies. It's like, people say, well, what is my best sign for a relationship? Any sign. Any sign. You can be in a relationship with anybody. So that's one of those modern, astrology things that people want to know. What's my best astrological sign in a relationship? Well, the one you fall in love with. How about that? Yeah. The one whose energy you can't live without. That's the one that builds a relationship on.
Boy, you know something, Marvin? That's not one of the questions that pastors ask on the wedding day. Do you take this woman and her energy to be... and do you take this guy's energy and will you mesh together? We need to have a deeper conversation about things like that, because that matters a great deal over time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look. You can love 1,000 people. I mean, Michelle loves, Aquarians are built for loving everybody, all simultaneously. So, love is universal. That's who you are. You are love. And one step above love on Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness is joy. Just live in joy. Just live in peace and joy, and you can begin to heal.
How do you convince somebody to live in the now when
No. You don't convince people of nothing. You lay out universal concepts, universal truths, and if they choose to accept universal law, well, then great. They'll be in alignment. But integrative science, and you've got your Greg Badens of the world. You've got some magnificent, intelligent beings that have shared wonderful concepts with us all, how to be in alignment with universal law. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Neville Goddard, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And so it ain't just the Buddhas and the Lazus, and universal truths and laws have been come down through history from thousands of years. I mean, the bottom line is if you just listen to Hermetic principle, that's the first one. Hermetic principles are universal law. And so it's like my teacher said, if you can't walk the talk, throw it away.
And Rochelle suddenly has disappeared. Hopefully she'll be back here in a second. But Marvin Wilkerson, and Marvin, there's somebody that I would like you to meet. And this is Samuel. He is in Kenya. And he says, greetings, Brother Kevin and Sister Rochelle, and guest Marvin Wilkerson, watching you live from the Kibera slums in Nairobi, Kenya. This is our favorite program. Thank God. Bless you, Brother Kevin and Sister Michelle. And our guest, he works with children. He feeds 350 kids every Saturday because of who he is and the walk that he's had through life, which, if you know anything about Kenya, it wasn't easy. And
I'm sure.
Now he's really working to give back. And
many blessings to him.
Absolutely. And thank you, Samuel. He listens to virtually every show. He is sitting with his team. It is 11:30 or midnight there. And there are 20 of them in this large room with this big screen TV, and they're listening to us. Isn't that the coolest thing?
That is so beautiful. I'm ready to choke up.
Well, and I got to tell you, Marvin, you are, you make things, and I've tried to explain some of the things that you've said that I know, but you make it so easy and make it so clear to understand these concepts that some people have trouble with because it can't be that simple. It can't be that easy. It's got to be hard. Life, I've had lots of people on oh man, life is hard. Life is difficult. And you've got to work through the difficulty but it doesn't have to be, does it?
Well, difficulties are the blessings. Conflicts are the blessings. They teach you, they educate you, they bring you knowledge that simple things don't. So look at your blessings and accept them as a blessing when you go through struggles, when you go through conflicts. Nothing is a greater teacher.
Oh, exactly. And I've often said, and tell me if in your experience if this is right, is that I believe that all of the experiences in our personal life and what have happened to us happen for us, not to us, and that we learn from them and we become more able to work with the person that we are working to become based upon the experiences, both good and bad, that we've had in our life. Am I even close?
Well, you're spot on. But I mean, I'll take it even further. Every disease, every illness is a gift. And if you look at what the gift is, you can begin to heal instead of trying to fight against things. And so everything is a gift. If we just live life as one big Christmas.
Well, it is such a grand adventure that if you understand the magnificence that we all are and the adventure that we get to have here, I think that will change your perception from one of, oh, this is hard, to one of, this is a grand adventure and we get to experience every bit of it. I wouldn't want to change the good experiences and the bad experiences and the heartbreak and the things that I've had in my life, because they've made me who I am.
Yes. You know, one of the things that I tell people is, look, you were created What I am, you shall be even greater things than I have done. That means you're a God. You have everything that God, all his power, all his capability of a God to be a co-creator. So you can create whatever life that you choose. And you can be, you have free will to be creative. And that, I tell people, look, God, you go buy cars with that creative ability, and God builds universes.
Yeah, that's so true. And we have the opportunity to decide how exciting this life is going to be for us. And
Every moment.
Every moment, and it recreates itself anew every moment, doesn't it?
Every moment.
That is an extraordinarily freeing statement, because now you can, even if yesterday sucked, today doesn't have to. You can change it at a moment's notice if you choose to.
You free will of attitude, right?
That's it. That's it. Marvin Wilkerson has been our guest. I want you to take the next few minutes to tell our audience how they can reach you, how they can work with you, and all those things. And hopefully Brachelle will make it back. She's having internet issues, apparently. Hopefully she can make it back in order for you to say goodbye. But before we do this, will you come back? Can we talk more?
Certainly. I love to talk. I love to share. I live for it.
Well, you are one of the most pristine and premier guests that we've ever had, and I've done a lot of shows.
Thank you. I'm very humbled by that.
I've done a lot of shows. I've interviewed Neil Donald Walsh and Gary Zukav and Greg Braden and a bunch of others, and you are every bit as heart-centered and as alive and service-oriented as any of them. And I thank you for the work that you're doing. But tell us how we can reach you, your book, your website, everything about you.
Well, my website for the book is soulfusionhealing.com. And that can lead you to both my other websites, which are astromarv.com and blhypnosis.com. And of course, you can always call me, 615-557-5667. And I hope this book helps you in some little way. It's my life. I have been blessed, and it's been given to me by Spirit, and I am it's humbled me more than anything else that I've ever done. And it's given me more joy and appreciation for life than I've ever had. And so I want to do this until my last breath. And when that comes, I'm ready to go.
But then you're going to do it next time. And the time after that. Well, we'll see.
I'm sure they'll give me other marching orders, I hope.
Brachelle, we just have a couple of moments. I'm glad you're back. I was worried about you for a second, but I want you, and Marvin has already agreed to come back. But I want you to tell him how much this has meant to you.
Yeah. Marvin, you are going to be the concrete foundation to the world, knowing that they can be different. And at any age, at any time, at any experience, we get to choose. I was fighting with my internet and almost distracted because I'm thinking, how much of this can I give my energy to make it work? And next thing you know, it joined me back into the show. We really do get to have control of our circumstances, and it is just a beautiful blessing to not only have you on Positive Talk Radio to share this message with the world, but to hear from you as myself and all people my age who are going to go through these next 50 years and be like, I don't know what to do. Well, here's the message for that. And I'm going to live on through the journey that you and Kevin have taught me. So I'm hoping I do well.
Stop hoping and know.
I know I
Always
will
know.
do all that I
will
can.
do
Yeah.
well. You will
Stop it,
do
Kevin.
well. I will be all that I can be.
Okay.
And
I'm going to write that on my mirror. I will.
And Marvin, one of the first things that I told her was the gospel according to Paul McCartney. Let it be.
Yes. It's
I just
like
finally
Wazoo
understood
said,
what that meant. So
let reality be reality.
yeah.
It is what it is, and let it be, and revel in it because you're alive and get to experience it.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful time to experience.
Thank you, Marvin,
Absolutely.
so much.
And Brichelle's website one more time.
Yes, visit his website. You have to visit his website. It is soulfusionhealing.com. And please do come back, Marvin. It's been such a great blessing to have you in our world. And for anybody who listens to this, you deserve all the same things, and you get to be confused sometimes too. So you are loved exactly where you're at, and give yourself that time and space.
And thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You betcha.
My blessings.
Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got.